let's talk about George Pickens. You know, George Pickens, the first thing that I think for him to be an elite receiver is we got to fix the maturity issues. We saw some of that stuff all throughout the year. We definitely saw it his rookie year. Last year was a lot of frustration, just being frustrated, not getting the ball, offense not doing the things that he and a lot of us thought that it should do. He's got to fix it. Look, I think the low point was probably that Indianapolis game last year where there were a lot of Steeler fans that were like, just get rid of him. We don't need it. Just move on from him. And then he changed his tune. He got better. I think maybe some people probably got in his face in the locker room, whatever happened. But that's the first thing with George Pickens. If he can change his attitude and his maturity, I really believe that he can take off. The next thing is his route running. Um, Look, I'm not saying that he's a bad route runner. I think a lot of the stuff that people talk about, myself included, on him not being a good route runner is some of the things that he was asked to do. He wasn't asked to do that much. And I think a lot of that is because of the limitations of the offense. Matt Canada's offense, I hate even bringing up that man's name, but it's just the truth. A lot of the offense and the stuff that Pickens was being asked, it was just okay. We're going to run a slant, we're going to run a stop route, and we're going to run a go route. Other than that, how many out routes did you see him run? There was a few. But it was few and far between. I think there's a lot more to the route tree that he can do. And I think there's going to be a lot more to the route tree that he's going to be asked to do for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For him to become an elite receiver, he's going to have to do that. Now, the one thing that he does well that kind of goes underrated is his blocking. Now, you're going to say, well, Brian, you just talked about the Indianapolis game, and I get that, but that was an outlier. But George Pickens is an outstanding blocker. I mean, when he puts his mind to it, which is a lot of the time when it comes to the run game, he is an incredible blocker. And in an Arthur Smith offense, he's going to have to do even more of that. And I look forward to seeing him being able to do that. So something that he takes pride in, and it's something that makes him an even more elite receiver, more complete receiver. Like to see that out of George Pickens. So I guess look at his 2023 numbers. Let's just take a quick look at that and what he did. I like it. I really like what he did last year. Just think about what George Pickens was able to do with the quarterback play, and he was still able to put those type of numbers up. Number one, the quarterback play and his attitude issues. If he can fix the attitude issues, it looks like that we fixed the quarterback issues. We got something here. You know what I'm saying? We got a little something here. So I think he can be elite. Now, let's take a look and see, you know, I guess one question is what does 24 the 2024 numbers look like? Let's take a look at that. If he's going to be an elite receiver, what does that need to look like, in my opinion, for him to be the kind of receiver, the type of elite receiver that we all believe that George Pickens can be? So when you take a look at that, look at the numbers, look at the catches, look at the yards, look at the touchdowns. Yeah, he's going to have more catches, obviously. 85 catches, I think 1,350 yards, 9 touchdowns. Now, you're going to say, well, come on, B. The yards per catch are going to go down. Look, he's going to have more coverage rolled his way. Not to mention, in the type of offense, it shouldn't always have to be boom or bust with George Pickens. First and 10, give me 4 yards on a quick out route. I'm okay with that. Third and 2, give me 3 yards on a quick comeback, a quick slant, a stop route, a dig, a quick dig, anything, crossing route. I'm okay with that. And again, that gets into more of what's he doing with the route tree? What can we do? How can we use them? And if you're going to be an elite number one receiver like that, you got to be able to do all those sorts of things. So I think George Pickens, he's going to have more catches to be elite anyway. Got to have more catches, got to have more yards, got to have more touchdowns. Look, the yards per catch, it's going to go down some just for circumstances, but that's okay. That's okay. And again, yards after the catch, it's going to go down some just for the simple fact he's going to have more coverage rolled his way. There's going to be more bodies around him. So breaking a lot of tackles and running, it's not always going to be there. So, but also one thing to keep in mind, if you are going to be elite, you got to be a third year or a third team all pro at the minimum and a pro bowler. And if things go the way that I think they will this year, I think that's where we're going to see George Pickens, people. I really do. I think we're going to see George Pickens take his game up to the next level. Even with all the running that they do, I think we're going to see him take his game up to the next level. So let's take a quick poll question here. George Pickens, do you think that George Pickens breaks out and has an elite season? Do you think that George Pickens breaks out and has an elite season? Yes or no? Please leave your answers in the comments. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good season for George Pickens. I really do. Really, really do. For if nothing else, because he's seen the contracts that some of these receivers have gotten, and he has a big third year. His contract's going to be due, and he's looking to get paid. So there's that.